how are you? I was going to say, hi, how are you, but I thought that would sound too much like my Elizabeth Warren impression. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? She's the one that said she's a Native American and she's not in Massachusetts. Okay. Let me get this untangled because I like to walk when I talk. You know, I'm actually going to talk about Yamamoto. Doesn't that sound strange? I'm here talking to a bunch of Tea Party people about Yamamoto. But interestingly, when he attacked the United States, and it was a sneak attack, he is alleged to have said, nobody ever proved it, "We have awakened the sleeping giant and filled it with resolve." Well, we had another heinous attack. It was about 3.5 years ago. And it wakened the sleeping giant and filled it with resolve, and that is you Tea Party people. How many of us went by day to day, feeding our family, going to work, not paying attention to what was going on in Washington, thinking they were doing the right thing, and suddenly you wake up and you realize we've got socialized medicine, redistribution of wealth, a social safety net that's become a drain on the economy. It's frightening to find out how quickly America has been ripped out from under us. Suddenly the Tea Party showed up, and you are filled with resolve, and you are America's best future. You are the people who will change what happens in this country. Now, interestingly, the Democrats want to paint you as extremists. Well, let me join you. I'm an extremist. Remember Barry Goldwater? Extremism in the name of liberty is no vice. Well, we have not a vice if we are fighting for liberty, if we are fighting for the Constitution, if we are fighting to take America back. Now, the Democrats will paint you as an extremist, and the old guard Republicans will say nothing. Their silence is deafening because they want you to go away too. The old guard Republicans want to continue doing business as usual. They want to keep compromising to the left. Margaret Thatcher famously said about socialists, and don't kid yourself, that's what Democrats are, socialists. She said famously, the problem with socialism is eventually you run out of other people's money. Well, let's not let them take the rest of our money. Let's keep fighting for the Constitution. Now, I am not a Republican. I'm a recovering Republican. I'm a libertarian. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in the doctrine of enumerated powers. I believe the government was limited by the founding fathers to prevent what we're going through now. And we have the ability to take it back. We can reach out to voters. It is your job to continue this fight. You know, after the midterm elections, a lot of Tea Party people, and by the way, when this happened, I was up in New York. I apologize for leaving. I went to hell. That's where New York is. It's up in hell somewhere. It's the People's Republic of New York. But I famously told them, well, not famously, but I told them that they had not won the war. They won a battle. The war is yet to come. Liberals don't give up easily. They won't stop just because you defeated them once. They'll keep coming back and keep nibbling and keep fighting, and we have to keep nibbling and fighting and punching and driving them back. Thank you. I've been talking to these people. I'm ignoring you folks. So I want you to keep up the fight. I don't want you to think that you've won, because you haven't. You've only won the battle, but I'm with you for the fight. Now, they keep coming up with stupid ideas. I'm going to just kind of segue out of this thing. I was just thinking about Chuck Schumer. You remember that you I'm sure all heard the story about the co-founder of Facebook who's become a billionaire and decided to renounce his American citizenship because of the confiscatory taxes in this country. This is where the Democrats go to that bizarro World School of Economics. Chuck Schumer, a Democrat from New York, came out and said, we should tell them they can never come back in this country again. No, we don't want a billionaire to come back here and spend his money. We want to bar him. That's the kind of logic they use. They think that because you walk on the same street but earn more money, you have to pay more to live in this country. They think austerity at the government level is a bad idea. They think we can keep taxing people, they'll keep taking it, and that somehow everything is going to work out. It's the bizarro World School of Economics. Fight them on this. We are taxed enough already. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go into a question and answer mode here. I can't imagine why anybody would have any questions, but they said that I should leave this open. But I will say a couple of provocative things. I will not vote for any Republican that does not support the Constitution. If you vote for a Republican, if for instance you hate Mitt Romney or the Obamist, and you decide you're going to vote for Mitt Romney just to get him out, here's the message you're sending the Republican Party. You're saying, you can hand me this plate of poop and I will eat it. I will vote for whoever you hand me because he is the lesser of two evils. It's too late for the lesser of two evils. It's too late to compromise to the left. We're facing a $100 trillion debt. It will be impossible for your children or your grandchildren to pay. The reason that we have elected officials that are without principle is because for the last 50 years, we have been without principle. We have been willing to compromise. We have sent them a message, I don't care who you put up there, I'll vote for them. So my message is, let's get principled. Let's vote for candidates who will support the Constitution. Forget about the D, forget about the R, just look for principled politicians. Now, what would happen if the Obamanists got back in office? It would be horrible. Chances are the House and the Senate would stop him from continuing his agenda. But what happens if Mitt Romney gets in office? Do you really believe that the Republican Party with Mitt Romney in charge is going to get rid of Obamacare? Clap your hands together if you believe they'll completely remove it. I don't think so. He's going to compromise. Which way? Left. Let's get principled, because no matter which one of these guys gets in office, we're headed for the cliff. It's not going to stop because the guy has an R in front of his name. The lesser of two evils is too late. We might have been able to go for the lesser of two evils in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, but now the debt's too high. We've got Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid speeding us over the cliff. Do you think the Democrats are going to ever say, you know, we should privatize that, get the government out of health care? No. Do you think the Republicans are going to give up on being the world's police department? No. Well, those are the big debts. That's what's driving us over the cliff. You keep hearing about pork spending. It's a fraction of the spending. It's Medicare, it's Social Security, and it's the defense. And I don't mind spending on defense. Spend whatever you need, support the military, defend the United States. But I'll be damned if I think we should be out there supporting Somalia. We need to defend the United States. Putting them at the borders is fine. But we're not the world's police department. It's not our job to send our precious young men and women to foreign countries to defend them when they have a border war or a civil war. Every time we inject ourselves in one of those events, we create an enemy. In the Middle East, they say the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So if there are two countries that are at war and we choose up sides, one of them becomes our enemy. Let's stop making enemies. Let's keep the lines of communication open through trade. And let's be principled. Thank you.